He has no parallel in jazz. His style at the piano, his compositions, all unique. He will always be remembered as one of the giants of jazz music. Who is Thelonious Monk? Here on Big on Bebop. He was born Thelonious Sphere Monk on October 10, 1917 in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, to Thelonious and Barbara Monk. When Monk was about 4 years old, his family moved to New York City, settling in the San Juan Hill neighborhood of Manhattan. This neighborhood was rich in African-American culture and music, and played a crucial role in shaping Monk's musical identity. He began playing the piano at an early age, showing an affinity for the instrument and an ear for music that set him apart. By his early teens, Monk was already performing in local churches and was influenced by both the classical training he received and the vibrant stride piano styles of Harlem legends like James P. Johnson and Fats Waller. In the late 1930s and early 1940s, Monk began performing professionally. He became the house pianist at Minton's Playhouse, a Harlem nightclub that served as the breeding ground for bebop, a revolutionary new form of jazz characterized by fast tempos, complex harmonies, and extended improvisation. At Minton's, Monk played with key figures like Charlie Parker, Dizzy Gillespie, Kenny Clarke, and Charlie Christian. Though not as fast or flashy as some of his contemporaries, Monk's angular style, unorthodox chord voicings, and use of silence made him a critical contributor to the bebop language. In 1947, Monk began recording as a band leader for Blue Note Records, producing compositions that would later become jazz standards, including Round Midnight, Well You Needn't, Straight No Chaser, In Walked Bud. Despite his brilliance, Monk struggled to gain widespread acceptance during these years. His music was considered too avant-garde and dissonant by many. Adding to his troubles, Monk was arrested in 1951 for drug possession, an incident that resulted in the loss of his New York cabaret card, which barred him from performing in city clubs. Monk's fortunes began to change when he signed with Riverside Records in 1955. Producer Orrin Keep News encouraged Monk to record familiar standards at first, helping to build a broader audience. Landmark Riverside albums included Brilliant Corners in 1956, Monk's Music in 1957, Thelonious himself in 1957. By 1962, Monk had signed with Columbia Records, enjoying greater commercial success. His 1963 album, Monk's Dream, became his best-selling record. With a steady band featuring Charlie Roos on tenor saxophone, Monk developed a distinctive, accessible style that retained his individuality. His quartet performed worldwide, and Monk was featured on the cover of Time magazine in 1964, a rare honor for a jazz musician. He wrote over 70 original compositions, many of them becoming core components of the jazz repertoire. His melodies were deceptively simple but harmonically dense. Monk is often regarded as one of the greatest composers in jazz history, second only to Duke Ellington in terms of sheer influence and output. His work challenged musicians and expanded the boundaries of jazz harmony and form. In the late 1960s, Monk began to withdraw from public life. He made fewer appearances, eventually ceasing all performances and recordings by the mid-1970s. He spent his final years living in seclusion at the home of his longtime patron and friend, Baroness Panonica Disconis-Werder, in Weehawken, New Jersey. Monk suffered from mental illness during this period, though diagnosis varied, remained speculative due to the lack of clear medical information. He passed away from a stroke on February 17, 1982, at the age of 64. Thelonious Monk's legacy is immense. He reshaped jazz with his bold harmonic language, idiosyncratic playing, and a body of work that has inspired generations. His contributions include being one of the primary architects of bebop, creating a distinct compositional voice, quirky, humorous, yet deeply emotional, influencing pianists like Herbie Hancock, McCoy Tyner, and Jason Moran. Monk has been celebrated in numerous biographies, documentaries, and tributes. His music continues to be a touchstone for jazz musicians worldwide. Thelonious Monk, the first of the Bebop pianists.